and I train pickleball, and today we are talking about how to beat a banger. Okay, so a few things before we get started. First, you'll notice that my green dot is a little rough looking today. He had a rough week. Sorry. Well, we're working things out, but right now he's up there, and if you can see it, I'll read it out to make sure you can see it. But anyway, just know that he had a rough week, so just send happy thoughts to him. All right, here we go. So how to beat a banger. A few things that we need to know. Number one is this is going to be our serve team, and this yellow guy is going to represent our banger, and this is my return guy, and we're going to talk about what to do. But let's talk about a banger real quick, okay? So a banger is the word that we like to use to describe a player who hits the ball hard and hits the ball hard all the time, are always looking to hit the ball hard. And it's the one that is probably the biggest complaint that I get every, repeatedly, consistently is, Thomas, how do I beat a banger? And so there were several approaches that I've taken, but I really decided that we need to put something together that's going to help a player from point A to point Z in every aspect of the 5 stages of pickleball. There is a way that you can work on countering a banger. Okay, so let's get into that. So the first thing we want to do is we've noticed this yellow guy is the banger. So when the server serves the ball to us, what we want to do is make sure that we get a return that is deep to our banger. All right, we want to get that ball as close to baseline as possible to back this player up. So when we get to the line, we both are on the line. This shot is the longest shot possible, which means that ball is going to slow down significantly by the time it gets to you, and you're going to be able to handle it. All right. So that's the very first thing that we can do with the banger is to get the ball deep, right? So say we're the serve team and we're hitting a serve to the banger. Again, it's the same thing. We want to make sure that that serve is as close to this baseline as possible. And I will even say, as far as, the forehand, say this is a right-handed player and a backhand, say that they don't like to attack from the backside as much. They like our backhand as much. They like to attack for the forehand. I would focus all of my serves more towards the backhand and try to force them to do one of two things. One, hit that return shot with their backhand, or run around and create more space on the court and hit the ball with their forehand. Okay, so that's what I would do on the return, and the serve is to make sure that they are both as deep as possible. This is why when we talked last week about the serve and making sure it was deep as possible, and the drills you can do, if you haven't seen that, watch that video. Okay, so that's the very first thing you can do. The second thing we can do is we can attack the feet. So now that you've returned, you got up here, your team's up here, this team is working. What we need to do is we need to start focusing on hitting the ball at their feet. Okay, even if we go this here we want it feet, right at the feet. So we start backing this player up, or we start putting them under pressure and they start short hopping everything. Basically, they're not hitting the ball as hard or hard at all to get the ball back, okay? Even though they're going to be looking to do it, as long as you're doing that, now they go from hitting what they feel like a controlled drive or a control hard ball is, to now they're just hitting the ball to be hitting it, all right? What we don't want to do, okay, what we don't want to do is just hit a ball back in a space that's in front of them, because all it's going to do is bounce nice and easy for them and they're going to drive. So this is a no-no. And so that is a short ball. We don't want to hit that, or we don't want to float a ball, okay? What I mean by that is if we hit a ball that's nice and easy right to them that they can hit out of the air, they can volley, they're going to do is drive that ball. So those are the two shots we don't want to get, okay? We don't want to hit one that's short, nice and easy bounces to them, or we don't want to float a ball in the air to them, because those are the things that they're looking for. All right, so we want to make sure that we don't hit that. So we want to make their transition zone here. So this is what it is. We want to make it as difficult as possible. So as long as you're going after the feet all the way up, you're forcing them to have to dig out shots and hit shots that they don't want to hit, okay? All right, so here we go. So the next thing is, for some reason, they made it through all your awesome shots, all your great strategy, and they've made it to the line, all right? It's not the end of the world. So here's a few things that we can do. Number one is we can make sure, first of all, we can make sure that we go after, most of our shots go after the non-banger. And what I mean by that is we're hitting all around here somewhere, right? Making this player move and have to hit shots. But inevitably what's going to happen, even with this great strategy, you know, I said that we're going after one player. That made some of you mad. It's okay because it's part of strategy. We got to learn to, you know, once you learn to start isolating players, even going after isolating the banger is possible as well. But first of all, we are hitting this ball here. Now we decide, well, this player is starting to get involved. How do we start controlling the banger? That's pretty easy. We need to start hitting shots that are moving this player. We do not want to hit a ball that goes right to the player. We do not want that shot. Okay, that's exactly what they want. If we hit a shot over here and force them to have to go get this one, and we hit a shot over here and force them to have to go get this one, now they're hitting desperate shots. They're hitting shots that they're not comfortable with, even if they're still trying to hit them hard. That is not giving that player a shot that they want to, that's easy, that they can load up on and want to be able to hit. Stay mainly to the side. All right, so this is a thing, same thing as the serve or the return. So we also want to figure out what side of this forehand or backhand that this player does not like to attack from. So say in this case, this player is right-handed, they don't like the backhand, so guess where I'm going to spin most of my balls? Over here, the backhand, and every time they start trying to cheat over here, I'm going to send another one over here to get them running, and then it opens up my backhand again, right? Guys, so I know we're talking to a lot of intermediate and beginner players, and you know, the days of like, I'm just trying to get the ball back over, or you know, I'm lucky to just get it back. Like that is a mindset. Those are things we're going to have to start letting go of. You have to let go of it so the new thing can come in, that yes, I have control. Yes, I can learn control. I may not have it now, but I will have it. So, you know, and the big reason why I have a lot of players tell me that is they say the game is going so fast, and to some degree, there are times that the game will speed up, but for the most part, the game is going a lot faster in your head than it is actually on the game. So I pull a lot of players to the side and have them watch a game, and they go, yeah, is that game going really fast? No, it's going slow. Guess what? Your game was going slow too, but in your head, because you were on the court, your fight or flight response kicked in, and now all of a sudden the game feels like it's going a million miles an hour. So there's a little trick that I learned and taught myself, or started implementing into my game, and that was to take a breath before every shot. There's a little secret to that. Once you start doing it, all of a sudden the game slows way down for you. Maybe not for the other three players, but for you, the game will slowly start slowing down, and all of a sudden you'll start seeing way more part of the court and where the players are and what's happening. So that is something you can easily add right now to start slowing the game down, okay? And so finally, we have one last thing we don't want to do, and that's hit out balls, okay? It is a skill. It is something you can learn, and part of it is starting to let balls go and actually see which ones are in and which ones are out. So we talk about this all the time in clinics and lessons when players are talking about, you know, how do I beat a banger? How do when a player's at the line and hitting the ball hard all the time? We talk about letting the ball go, and they're like, yeah, I really struggle with that. Well, it's because we have the first diagnosed pickleball disease, that unofficial, that we have to address, and that is the banger enabler. Yes, the banger enabler. Okay, so every ball that this person hits, in, out, over your head, you're working so hard to hit that ball back. You're just trying to hit it back, okay? So here's what you're doing. You're essentially teaching this player, no matter what shot I hit, and you hit it back, it's a good shot. So every time you hit one of their balls back, especially the ones that are out, you're teaching that player that that is a good shot. So my challenge to you is to start letting some of those balls go and see how many of them are actually out. I think you'll be surprised, okay? But once you start showing this player that their balls are going out repeatedly, they will start adjusting, which means they will start hitting slower shots or start hitting different shots that will be easier to handle, okay? So that's something to consider. So that's the last thing, that's the last part of that. So basically we're starting at the return. We're going to go to the baseline or the serve. We're going to go deep to the baseline when we're going to the banger. We're going to pin them back, and then we're going to start attacking their feet to the transition zone. And then we're going to keep the banger moving. We're going to keep it moving right and left. That also works in the transition zone, working right and left, keeping them moving and keeping it at their feet in the transition zone. When we're up here, we're keeping it mainly to the side that they don't attack from the forehand or the backhand. And then, of course, we are going to figure out if we're a banger enabler, and we're going to start getting some help. Okay? All right, so I think that narrows it down. So let's talk about the last thing. Last week, as you notice, I wore this shirt, the Santa Barbara Pickleball Club. It was made by, I don't think I did her justice last week, but this week I'm going to. Her name is Lauren, and she is a senior clinician. She's a mother of 4, and she started this small business, Santa Barbara Happy, okay? And she's been doing a lot of, she's partnered and doing a lot of apparel for a lot of national teams and leagues. You've probably seen some of it and don't know it, but she's an amazing woman. We became friends a couple of months ago, and I just really want to support some small businesses in the pickleball community that are positively impacting and making this sport even better. Okay, so if you get a chance, her Instagram will be down in the description. Click on it, go check it out, pick out a shirt, get one, support her. I know her and her family would appreciate that. So again, Thomas Shellowise, Night Train Pickleball. We'll see you in the next Whiteboard Wednesday.